Scent Podcast.
Okay, we're live. This is Matthew, and I'm back with another Scent Spotlight. This week, I'm really excited to speak with our guest. If you've been to any of the WHIP weekly meetups, I'm sure you've received some of their either NFTs or their awesome wearables, which just won them the top spot in the most recent Who, What Wearable and WHIP wearable contest at last week's Whale Shark sponsored WHIP. Of course, I'm speaking with none other than the Clod master himself, Fabiano Speziari. Welcome to the Sense Spotlight, Fabiano.
Hi, Matthew. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. So my first question would be for you to just introduce yourself to everyone. I'm sure everyone's familiar with your work, but a lot of people are curious who Fabiano is.
Good. Yes, I start from my study. I have a degree in industrial design. And in high school, I study electronics. And I still don't know why I study electronics. I want to study art, but I study electronics. And sorry. I don't know. At the moment, I divide my time, my working time, 60% and 40% between art and industrial design of high-tech machine for an engineering office. We need all to earn. I'm more or less over 40 years old. In this year, I have a lot work experiences, completely different. I have a lot of experiences, work, and this make me to know the different aspects of the world, because I make different work. I make graphic designer, I make the player, I make the representative of fake flower. So I know a strange word every time that I start a new word. So, because I'm an eclectic person. But this, in the past, I think is a good thing. To the past the time, I see that is not so good, because lot of things, but not so good. So you are not complete over time, changing every time. This is I speak this because in my art, this is very present, no? I change my art a lot of time. So every time I start to work in a new project, and after the project, I change totally work. So I don't explore all things. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, totally. You do many different things, but it's hard for you to go very deep into any one particular area, right?
Yes. This. So is that I'm not only an artist. I love art in every way. I am a collector. I'm a fruitor. I'm a user of art. I like make. I like see. I like buy art. I like also sell art sometimes. So. Art for me is not only a hobby, but it's a way to live.
But I thought that was a really awesome introduction. I had no idea about your electrical studies or electrical engineering studies. That's really fascinating. And it's a really cool glimpse into who you are outside of being an artist. But focusing more on your creative journey, that's led you into crypto art. I'm curious if you could take us back in time and tell us about that creative journey that you've been on up until recently.
Okay, Matthew. To talk about my work before the crypto art, I go back to what I speak before. So the eclectic. The first things that have influenced my current way of making art are comics, video games, pop art, and street art. And I like really seriality and reproducibility in art. You understand things like Warhol or Murakami. So these artists. One thing that I can speak about my past is teenager. I have a room where I live, where I draw on the wall with calcs.
What is cogs, or what is that?
Yeah, what you remember in the school when the professor write on the blackboard?
Ah, chalk. Yeah, we call that chalk.
Chalk. Yes, I don't.
There we go. Don't worry, don't worry. We're always experimenting with language. I really enjoy where this is going. So let's pick up where you were. So you had this place and you used to draw on your walls with chalk. So take me back there.
Yeah, I have this place. The first things I make on the wall, I replicate the bigger the comics on the wall after the delete and make other. I make this. So this is when I teenager. But I started to make art for an exhibition when I was more old. So about 20, 25, so 28, this age. So in the first part of the art, I create acrylic painting, sculpture, installation. This installation is very different from the things that I make now. So in this time, I work a lot on the conceptual art. I use it to explain my idea on the social problem in this place, in this time of the art. After this, I moved on the natural installation, like land art. For 5 years, I create outdoor installation with natural materials. We make not in the traditional place like gallery, but we make this in the mountain, in the wild place. And we invite a lot of artists to make this installation. And the people, when go to work, they can see the environment and also see the art, this installation. After this, I changed newly my art, so I change every time. I started my period when I create that are the collectible. No? I make agglomeration, the seventh phase cube. I make the whole series of luminous giant pencil. That is a message in a pencil. That all these things I make also today. Now, I don't abandon it. I don't abandon this. I like very this part of art because I love make create furniture that are halfway through design, and this is a unique piece or numbered series. The material that I use for this object are wood, plexiglass, colored films, and sometimes 3D printing. So I have other plan in my head, but now I discovered crypto art, so I needed to dedicate my time from this.
Yeah. And then before we dive into the crypto art, I wanted to ask you a few more general questions. So this is a little bit abstract, but when you look at your creations so far, like what part of yourself do you think is reflected most clearly in the art, in the work that you create? I'm curious to hear how you see yourself in your work.
So I think my work is a result of a path around all the experiences, why I speak my work, why I speak that I am eclectic, because I think we are the result of all our experiences, okay? So I can have a single part that influence my work, but I have more parts that create my work.
Well, the next question that I have is specifically about the clods that you've made. They're like floating landscapes, and each landscape has this different affect. That's the way that I describe it. But I'm curious if you could tell me what the origin story, inspiration, and significance behind your clod pieces are.
So some time ago, I made posters on chain where I tell the graphic of evolution of the Clod. They were born in 2016, more or less. And the original name is mental agglomeration. These represent the residential housing modulus, standardization and the massification of human. This work I made first in painting and after in a bright sculpture, the mental agglomeration. When I started crypto, this mental agglomeration became clothes. And I started to study different types. The first seemed like a fairy tales, and other are closer to the first creation. I created two types of clothes, but every cloth represented the destruction of the earth.
So are you saying that the clods themselves, part of their symbolism is that they represent like the fractured, maybe like destruction of what we formerly knew as the earth? Is that right? Or
Yes, it's like the earth destroyed and all these little parts go away in the space. Yes.
yeah.
More or less, we need the oxygen in the space than this, but is this. So the human create a new house on this cloth. The cloth is a cloth. And when I decided to make one cloth, I searched in my library one book that more or less remember me this cloth. And my idea is to create 929 clothes. Okay.
Wow. Uh-huh.
But I'm not sure because it's probably that they change the idea and they make something new. Or maybe I can do. This is very difficult for me. So other things about Clod is the collaboration with Niwa, the Japanese grower Niwa. Animal give something more to the clothes, make them alive. Okay, thanks to this, I decided to include people in my cloth. The last cloth that I tokenized yesterday is my favorite and is the most advanced in terms of design. You see my last cloth?
Where defeated dreamers live.
Yeah, this. People live here giving back their dream. So is a strange cloth. But if you can see, you can find little animation. It's very little. If you see now, you can see something.
Oh, I can actually see people.
Yeah.
There's so many details in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So about clothes, I ended my explanation.
I love that insight. And now getting back to crypto art, which I know your clods are pretty much all tokenized, but could you tell me how you originally found crypto art And what has your experience been creating in this new movement?
Yeah, I discovered crypto art thanks to an hackdown. I started looking for the various websites. Honestly, the first approach was quite confusing. I found a lot of material and couldn't understand what to do. No, so slowly I selected some platform and I need to thanks also Mattia Tuttini that helped me a lot of time. He was very supportive. The other aspect from the crypto art that I see when I arrive is not only the crypto art or the platform, but before starting crypto art and using all the crypto platform, I don't use Twitter. So every time you use Twitter, I think it's useless. So now Twitter is my best platform. I use every time, every day. So it's changed all my way to see the things in the crypto world.
Hmm. That's really interesting. And well, I have to ask you this last question, but what does the future hold for you, Fabiano? Do you have any long-term plans, or I know you want to create maybe like 929 Clods eventually, but outside of the Clod work, are there any other projects that you are thinking about working on or are excited to get started on?
This is the most difficult question uh, about the future. Honestly, I hope it's all in the art. My next goal is to move the 40% that I work in industrial design to move through the art or in my design, not working for other office.
Cool. But Fabiano, before we go, do you have any final words for our audience? Would you like people to look at any particular site of yours or marketplace to find your work or learn more about you?
Yeah, people can find me everywhere in marketplace, in Super Rare, no origin, so Twitter, Instagram. I have every time my name, Fabiano Speziari. I use it. I make this. I choose this because I want a clear name, no? So people know my name, Fabiano Speziari, and get in Google and find me in a lot of site, my personal site, lot of platform, Sachi. So it's too simple find me.
That really does make it super easy to find you. And it makes it easy to remember your name too, because everywhere it's always Fabiano Speziari. And I love that.
Yeah,
It's so simple.
yeah, it's so long, but too long. But it's my name. So one time you need to remember, other time you find it every time.
That's perfect. Well, Fabiano, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to speak with me and the audience over here at the You Deserve a Drink podcast. It was really fun to dive into your work and some of your more famous pieces and understand the hidden meaning behind them, as well as your creative journey. So thank you so much and keep on creating.
So thank you for offering me to participate in your spotlight, and I'm honored. I ask the listener not to pay much attention to my English mistake. I'm not very good at speaking language. However, I hope I managed to make my idea understood. So I hope the people understood what I speak.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think you have anything to worry about. It was really enlightening, actually. It was awesome. So thank you again, Fabiano.
Thanks.
interessante.